All right, this is week 14 for science. We have 2 activities. The first one is the streak test. So we're going to start out by singing the scientific method. And our question or our purpose is, why do scientists need to identify materials? And then our question is, can we use this mineral, this rock, to mark on a tile? Our research or our background information is, what are some ways that you write information and what materials do you use? So of course they'll just say they use pencils and pens and markers and chalk and paint. And what are some ways that scientists use to identify minerals is one of the questions. Our hypothesis, or taking a guess, is we're asking how can we use these materials to make a mark, and what do you think will happen if we rub this rock along this tile? So our experiment, our materials and procedures are just a mineral and a tile. We're going to rub the mineral across the tile, and we could even write our names if we did it small enough. And then our analysis or our noting results, what happened? What do we see? We see that the mineral makes a gray streak on the tile, and why this is important is that the metal rock is made from minerals. And so what geologists do is they dig up and mine our minerals from the earth's soil and rock layers. And then these minerals are used to make a lot of our common household goods, such as, and they can guess, but some of the answers are vitamins, jewelry, and building goods. And when scientists find a mineral and they're not sure what it is, they do some tests just like we just did with our tile and our rock. So it's called a streak test. This is one of the streak test. This is one of them that they actually do. So when we rubbed our mineral, the rock, across the tile, we actually ended up grinding a little bit of it off onto the tile, and it left a streak, and that gives scientists a good idea of what the mineral is. For example, copper will always leave an orange streak. Gold will always leave a yellow streak. And the reason this is important is things like pyrite, which looks like gold. If they do a streak test, it will show up as a different color streak. So it's just a way to identify maybe if it was real gold or fool's gold. Graphite pencils will always leave a black streak. And then we'll ask the kids if they know what a sapphire is. And some of them will probably know what a sapphire is and identify it as being blue. But actually, a sapphire can be pink, purple, yellow, green, orange, black, or it can be clear. And we do have an image to show for that right down here. These are all actually sapphires. So we can show that to the kids, all the different colors. But no matter what color the stone is, on a streak test, it's always going to show up white. And you can let them guess what color it is, that it's white. And ask them, what do you think would happen if we took a diamond and scratched it on here? And actually, since diamonds are so hard, it would grind to the porcelain rather than the rock, the material. Some other tests that are done by scientists are finding its levels of hardness, its crystal structure, its transparency, and its magnetism. And then so we also just have this one that just kind of shows some demonstration of different minerals and the colors that they will leave. You also, for variation, can take a spoon and drag a spoon across because it has metal in it as well. So you're just going to need all you need for this is these 2 things and a spoon if you want. And then our second one is called sampler. And so we're going to talk about what is beneath our feet. Our question or our purpose is, what would it look like if we could just keep digging down into the ground and digging and digging and digging? And how do scientists know what the earth looks like way down deep? So today we're going to create a model of how scientists, which are called geologists, look at the layers of the earth. So some of our background information is that we already know about the earth's crust, because last week our science question was, what are some parts of the geosphere? And so we're going to sing what some parts of the geosphere are. And then our hypothesis, or making a guess, is we want to know, can we determine what is in the ground and the thickness of what is in the ground of each element? So experiment, our materials and procedures are, we have straws, clear straws. We have different colored Play-Doh and scissors. So they're each going to get a little tiny piece of each color, and they're going to just kind of roll it in a little egg shape and flatten it on top of one another. And you do probably want different thicknesses because in the ground the different layers are different thicknesses. And then once they have their little pile, they're each going to get a straw, and they're going to just take the straw and push it down, and then we're going to pull the tube out, and we'll be able to see. So it's your choice if you want to use like little tiny scissors and cut the layers out, but because these straws are clear, you can see right through them, so you can see the layers, and you can talk about the different depths of it, and that's what scientists will use to determine about the different layers of the earth. So our analysis or our noting results, what do we notice? Just ask them, what do you notice? Look at the layers. What shape is it? And of course it's a cylinder shape. And that the straw pushed through the clay and the collected layers match the depths of the original clay. So our conclusion is that, why did we observe what we did? Well, because the straw was open-ended and hollow, it allowed the layers of the clay to push up in the exact dimensions that they were, and so it didn't smoosh them. And that scientists use core sampling machines, which we do have a photo of. This is an example of a core sampling machine, and then it shows the little, well, they're not little, but the different examples, I guess, of what they pull out of that. And saying that sometimes these cylinders can go down miles deep in the ground, actually. And remembering that we may cut, if you do cut open the tube, you can talk about it, but scientists actually don't. They actually use what's a plunger type thing that pushes the sample out in one long piece, kind of like spaghetti. So scientists who study the earth are called geologists, and they do this to discover and collect all sorts of information. Some reasons they might want to do this is they might want to know if the land is safe to build on, or they may want to learn about how the land was used in the past, and they may even be looking for treasures in the materials. And then we can ask them, what do you think is the deepest that scientists have dug, and let them do a higher and lower kind of game, and the answer is 7.5 miles deep. And there's actually a lot more they're hoping to be able to go even deeper. And that's it.